Another thing that they added in at this Council of Nicaea was this whole thing of Christmas. Put that into the link form, Dave. Christmas. They changed the name later on down the road. But the true festival which this comes from is Saturnalia. You're going to be able to see this in this link when you go in. I'm not even going to waste my time going into what they did during Saturnalia. And you will see that it always happened during the time from December the 15th all the way to the 25th. That's how you got your Christmas day. If you go in your Bibles and you look into the time when Jesus was born, the Bible says that the shepherds was in the field. What shepherds have you ever seen in the field during the winter? It don't happen. Okay? So, let me show you, let me read to you, you'll be able to see this in this link, how this old idea of Christmas came. Nicholas, Saint Nick, was born in Para, Turkey in 207 AD and later became a bishop of Myra. He died in 345 AD on December the 6th. He was only named a saint in the 19th century, which would mean in the 1800s. This is when this whole idea of Saint Nick came about. He was never considered a saint before that. Nicholas was among the most senior bishops who prevailed at the Council of Nicaea in 325. So the guy that they say Saint Nick, and this whole idea that they created was of this Santa Claus, Saint Nick, he was one of the bishops that was at the Council of Nicaea. He was a Roman. He wasn't an Israelite. And he was one of the people that voted in making Jesus to be God, Easter to be a holiday, and for Christmas. This is where all of this stuff comes from. It doesn't come from here. Everything changed about this Bible and the way we looked at everything when the authority went from the Israelites, where the truth was given to the Romans. And this is why you have all of this confusion that we have today. This is why you have all these denominations, Baptists, Methodists, Kojic, Church of God, Assemblies of God, all these different things that have nothing to do with Christ and the Bible. None of it. None of it. And I've showed you and I've given you the historical evidence of how all of these things came about. You can't find any of it in the Bible. All of these things were introduced at the Council of Nicaea. So what does that have to do with us? What does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Remember the title of our lesson today. Not only are you wanted, but you need it. Go with me to Hebrews the 12th chapter. And we begin what we're looking at on time right now. All right, cool. Not going to go 2 hours a day. Promise you that. I hope this is blessing somebody. This is answering all your questions. Because many of you have walked away from the church, walked away from the Bible because you say stuff like, hey, man, how can Christ die on Friday and raise on the Sunday and that be 3 days? Now you understand that that's not what happened. Why does Christmas have, because it didn't. It had nothing to do with it. This did not come from the apostles. This came from Romans. The same people who killed Christ. The same people that was killing followers of Christ. They introduced this. Had nothing to do with the Bible. Let's go to Hebrews 12. Now, if you go back in your own time and look at Hebrews 11 chapter, Hebrews 11 chapter, many people call the Faith Hall of Fame. This is where Paul is making, the whole book of Hebrews is Paul making his case to the Hebrews about why they're supposed to believe in Christ, why Christ is now the standard versus the law of Moses. If you go through Hebrews and you read all of the chapters of Hebrews, you will see how Paul states the case to our people who had initially rejected Christ about why they should be in Christ. But when we come to Hebrews 11th chapter, he tells us here all the faithful people who had did the work and walked in faith, that no matter what was going on and no matter how situations were against them, they were the Hall of Fame. They suffered many things. They went through much persecution, but they kept the faith. Remember I said, not only are you wanted, but you're needed. So let's look here in Hebrews 12. Read verse 1 for me.
Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Now he's telling us here, if you're just now joining us, we're in Hebrews, the 12th chapter, verse 1. And our title today is, not only are you wanted by the Most High, but you're needed. And as I said, in Hebrews 11th chapter, we see that this is a Hall of Fame, the Faith Hall of Fame. And Paul is telling us here, see, now that we have a cloud of witnesses, a great cloud of witnesses, we see all the people who kept the faith and what came as a result of it, and how we are here today and we know who Christ is because of all these great witnesses. And even in your family, I'm pretty sure you have a great crowd of witnesses, of people, of grandmothers who kept the faith, of granddaddies who were initial pastors and uncles and aunts who were people who stayed with the Lord no matter what the rest of the family did. And the only reason you was going to church is because some grandmother was determined to get you to church. And the only reason that you know who Christ was because some granddaddy or some uncle of yours made you read the Bible, made you study these things, and made you memorize Bible verses, and took you to Sunday school, took you to vacation Bible school. And even though you won't go into church every Sunday, somebody was determined to be a witness. And you saw all these good people. You had a good pastor in your community, a good deacon, a good mother in your community. You had a witness of, this thing really is real when we do what it says. And so he's telling us, because we have this cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin, which makes us understand is that everything that we need to let go of don't necessarily have to be a sin. Some of the things, it's just something that has to go. You have friends is not a sin. But if you have friends that are determined to not do what thus says the Lord, you have to let them go. Having a boyfriend, having a girlfriend was not a sin. But if you're trying to be celibate and they don't want to be celibate, if you're trying to do what thus says the Lord and they don't want to do it, you're going to have to let them go. So everything that you need to let go of is not a sin. Drinking alcohol is not a sin. But if you can't handle your liquor, you got to let it go. If you want to fight every time you drink and every time you want to come in and cuss your wife out, be disrespectful to your husband, if drinking is not a sin, but it makes me something you need to let go of. So he's telling us here, we got to lay aside every weight and every sin that is doing what to us? Easily doing what?
Easily beset us and let us run the race with patience that is set before us.
We got to run it with patience. This life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And some of you are getting frustrated. We all get frustrated. But you got to run it with endurance. You got to keep going forward because the Most High needs you. Look at verse 2.
Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down as the right hand of the throne of God.
If you don't have anybody in your life that you can look to as an example, look to Christ. Now, I think many times we devalue what Christ has really done. You have to understand that if you go back in Genesis 1, you see the Bible said, let us make man. So that lets us know that Christ has been there the whole time. But yet, because he loved us so much, that he came down. The Bible says that he came poor so that we may become rich. He took the cross so that we may live. He gave his life so that you can live. He needs you to be doing this work. He needs you to be in this community. He needs you to be a father to your children. He needs you to be a mother to your children. He needs you to be the examples of what true Israel looks like. What true disciples of Christ looks like. And in order for you to do that, you're going to have to lay some things aside. Look at verse 3.
For consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary and faint in your minds.
Look at what he dealt with. All these folks